The Whine and Cheese show is a Metaverse and NFT discussion interview series brought to you by Upland Development United and the host BEN68 and Morecheese. Warning, the information and opinions within are solely the views of the individuals involved and contains content not suitable for anyone.
Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 9 of the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverses show. I'm BEN68 and today Morecheeese and I spoke to ThePenguinVA, who is the community manager for Metaverse, Master Brews and several other very cool NFT projects.
We talked about Penguin and his hobbies and what he does when he's not taking care of everybody else, the projects he's currently into, and he also mentions which one is his favorite.
So pour yourself a tall Coke Zero and Rye and take a seat in the Iceberg Lounge for another always super shitty episode
of the worst show ever.
Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. Cheese. One is a wanker, one's slinging stunts. One's from Australia, one's from the Bronx. Talking about the Metaverse and NFTs. Interviewing all the real crypto G's.
Hello!
Hello, hello.
Welcome to episode 9. We got here. Oh my God.
Hey, was a journey this one?
Yeah. We have a cool guest today, ThePenguinVA, who has his toes dipped everywhere. I don't think he has enough toes, but he's a hardworking penguin.
There's a lot of people in the space like this where I'm so envious of them, and I guess you're kind of in that boat too. You're able to keep your finger on the pulse of so many different things, but the penguin, he's more than just got his finger on the pulse by the looks of it. He's deeply involved in a couple of very cool projects, so we'll get into that a bit later.
So we can't wait to talk to him. So I have a lot of bleh to do. Do you want to start, or do you want me to just throw it all up?
I might just talk about this Atomic Hub thing first, and then you can do your blur.
Okay.
So I was in while I was having lunch yesterday, I was in the Upland cafe chat, and while I was just kind of listening in, I went over to Atomic Hub to see if I'd had any sales come through, because I'm still a bit short on wax and that sort of thing. And I had there was none of my NFTs showing up. They were showing my inventory as empty, and there was no. It was just completely cleared out. And, coming from a crypto kind of background, the first thing you think of is, uh-oh. So I asked in the cafe chat, and Uplando he started talking about that apparently there's some Atomic Hub claim link scams going around. So, people are so quick to, if you're in these Discord servers or whatever, we're all in the habit of, as soon as we see it, you click on it as fast as you can to grab these links. Well, apparently there's a scam going around, and some people actually have been totally cleaned out through that. So it turned out cleaned out? No, it turned out for me. Well, the first thing I did was go over to blocks.io or whatever it is, the Wax blockchain explorer, and you could see all the NFTs were still there. So it was just some kind of front-end UI glitch, but something to be mindful of, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, if you're in any of these servers, and you're probably not the ones like the most claims I do is like in the Nasty Hooks server or something like that. It's probably going to be very rare that we see something like that there, but it's always a possibility. But if you're in like the main Atomic Hub, Discord server or some of those bigger platforms, just take a minute to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You're right. I know they said something like if you click a link and you have to log in, then it's not a good link. But still, you should still be even more careful than that.
Yeah, I ended up going ahead. Sorry, finish what you're saying.
No, I would have been crying in the corner.
Yeah, well, I've been working on that a fair bit. Like when I first got into NFTs ages ago, it wasn't really, I was just playing around basically, but I've worked hard to flip and rebuild and get some good collections going. So it'd definitely be a kick in the nuts, so to speak. So I actually went ahead and put 2FA authentication on my Wax Cloud wallet account and that sort of thing. So it's pretty dumb that I didn't already have that set up. So make sure if you're listening, you get it squared away.
And if somebody, go ahead.
I was just going to say nothing's perfect, but you don't make it easy for these pricks.
I was going to say also, like, even people I know and trust, if they send me a link, you don't know if they got hacked. So what you do is you could copy that link instead of clicking it and paste it in your search engine as just regular text. And it'll come out. Like, if it's not a good link, it won't show up at all.
Yeah, cool. Yes, something to be mindful of. All right.
Yeah, that's scary. All right. Alien worlds. What the frig? That was for your kids.
Great turnaround.
What the fig Newton? Like, all right, so this is a good what the fig, because it looks much nicer. It's beautiful. Alien Worlds, you did a great job. And everyone who knows me and knows Alien Worlds know that I hated them at one point. And hate's a strong word. So I try not to use it. But it got to that point. And then we had Colosimo on, and he kind of got me back into the swing of things. So I swallowed my pride. I went back to their Discord. I told them, reinstate me, and I tried it out, and it plays so much nicer too. Like, I almost kind of want to show you.
So have they done is it a lot of UI work? Is that what they've worked on, or?
Well, yeah, it's so much different, and it's so seamless.
Cool.
Like, let me just show this real quick.
Yeah, I never dipped my toe into it at all. That was kind of all underway before I kind of got into NFTs.
Yeah, you see this right here?
Yep, all good.
This is all new. Yep. So you started off, log in or whatever. Oh, Smeg. You don't see me logging in, right?
No,
all right, cool. I put that to my other screen.
Yeah.
So, see, and I had the 2-factor notification, and I don't have my phone.
Yeah, I mean, it is a pain in the butt. It sucks, but yeah.
All right.
What do you mean you don't have your phone?
I don't know. I don't know where it is. Hold on.
But is Alien World something that if you're just coming into the space, a lot of these projects that have been around for a while, you're priced right out of involvement. If you wanted to start off, you got to spend literally thousands and thousands. Is it still accessible to onboarding new people?
Are you talking to me?
No, it's the freaking wine and toilet show.
I don't know where my phone is. I have to go get it. I was
just saying, is Alien World still accessible to new players? Like, she's
go ahead. No, go ahead. I can hear you. You hear me?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'll try again. So a lot of these projects, you got to spend thousands and thousands of dollars if you weren't in from the ground floor to get involved. Is that the case with Alien Worlds, or could just somebody starting fresh, like if they got on today, do they have a chance?
Yes and no. It depends on what servers you're in. So some servers will drop you rewards. Hold on. All right. You hear me?
Where are you going? Yeah.
All right. So some servers will drop you rewards as you play. So you have to kind of start out, blah-ish. But you can, I know the drill isn't that expensive. So if you do want to start out with a bit of an edge, you can get a few drills. Now, the thing is, when you put in more than one of the same tool, it's a kerfuffle because you have to go into like atomic.io and put the numbers in, and there's a whole process for it. I'm wondering if they actually fixed that.
Mm-hmm. Is there many is there many guides and that sort of thing? Like if you're just starting off and I literally have no idea what it is besides a name. So is there
there's so many, there's so many guides.
Yeah,
and they have like video guides. Actually, Alien Worlds was the first thing that got me into this whole metaverse.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
And I watched so many videos on it. And there was this one guy that started me out. He was the one that like got me to understand wallets, got me to understand the blocks.io, got me to understand like Alcor and TLM and all the different things. So we could probably even, it's a little outdated, but it still, in my opinion, works. So we could probably share his thing if he's still around. But look at how beautiful this is. If you haven't seen how it looked before, you wouldn't be able to appreciate this.
For sure.
And then look, the mine is right here. You click it and you claim it. And if you have it checked to do automatic, that won't even bother you. Something like this used to take so much time.
Cool.
And then next attempt. This is beautiful. It's gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna stop kissing their ass. The next their tush. The next thing is Upland Halloween stuff.
Oh, are we gonna go there? Yeah.
We're gonna go there. Where's my house decorations?
Yeah, I just literally got off a rant about that in the feedback channel. It's another case where they seem to be selling products they don't have, which is, as I said in the feedback, it's not a very good look. You do want to have really one.
I kick my freaking cord all the time.
Again, you got cat DNA, I think. Part cat. Knocking
I
these
gotta just
flying.
leave my legs on the floor. It's like I'm like.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's a very good look. You know, you're selling these products, making thousands and thousands of dollars, and then scrambling to sort it all out. Like get the horse before the cart. You know, have these things ready to go and then sell them. Bit of a weird situation. Oh no, we've got technical difficulties here. You there?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying it just sucks that they've got the cart before the horse yet again.
Yeah, like I mean, Halloween is what, this weekend, right? Sunday?
Well, it's the 28th here, so yeah, it's right around the corner. And the cutoff, we were only going to be able to display these NFTs until the 5th of November. So if we don't get them till the 30th or the 31st, it's a bit weird.
You said you guys celebrate Halloween on the 28th, or did I misunderstand?
No, I said today is the 28th.
Oh.
Yeah.
All the planes going over my head. All right.
Here in the future. Yeah. So now part of this is, which it was cool to see that we could buy these NFT packs and that sort of stuff with UpX, which is a big change and something that we've been, requesting for a while now. So it was good to see that come through. Now I went and bought 2 of the apartment packs, which is about 90K, something like that. Now, when I woke up this morning and I went over to the Upland Discord, it turns out that a whole bunch of people have been refunded the entirety of what they spent on these packs. Or there's some kind of glitch where some people were refunded everything, and now Upland's kind of trying to work out if and how they're going to get that money back, it seems. I don't know if I got it because I have so many sales come through overnight when I'm asleep. I kind of couldn't work out, and I only spent like 90K, so it's kind of could be lost in the matrix there a bit. But
I certainly didn't get it.
Yeah, Bok noticed because his balance was a certain nice round number, and then all of a sudden it jumped apparently. So Bok raised it. I think so, yeah. And he's been very active in raising the point. Now we know that if there's glitches on the Upland side, and like with all these send glitches, or if there's city release glitches, they've been previously they have put out like compensation for that. You know, you get 20K for the Brooklyn burn or this, that, and the other thing. Now, in recent times, it's just been completely ignored. Like if there's glitches on their end and it's cost us UPEX, let's kind of take your lumps. You know, we're in better. Now they've had a glitch that's on their end that favors us, and they're saying, it seems to be that they're saying, hang on, we need that money back.
You're right.
Which has kind of got Box back up a bit, which is, it's fair enough. So
yeah, Box been very vocal lately, and as he should. Like, you know, I mean, I know I stick up for Upland a lot because, you know, I got a lot of money in there.
Yeah.
But you know, right is right. You want more people to come in. I want people to come in. It'll only be better for my investment and Upland's reputation. So come on.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a bit of a worry. The only other thing that I wanted to touch on was that UPEX World, I did see that Rikuria posted that they're fully synced with the blockchain history now. So that was, I think Pac-Man mentioned that it's over 100 and something million transactions that they're all synced up with, which is kind of mental to think.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's good things on the way at UPEX World with all the new systems they have in place. So
yeah, I can't wait. I know people are suffering.
Yeah. So. It's actually working out well for me, I think, within my flipping sales rampage.
True. Yeah. When people suffer, others reap.
Yeah, I think, and we've mentioned this before in the Udo meetings, a lot of newbies nowadays, they've just got it too damn easy. They've had it too damn easy for too long. Like back in the day, I used to scroll the map in San Francisco with pen and paper, taking notes, and that was half of the fun. So,
are you one of those back in the day people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Walk up hills of snow.
Yep. Pull your damn pants up. Get off my lawn. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, I just got one more quick thing to say before we get the Penguin on. Tales for the Crypto. They have actually, and it's starting. Oh, smeg. What did I do? It's starting in 23 minutes. So if I miss it, I'm gonna kill you or someone. Maybe a bug outside. But so they had this thing where they would drop these 5 kind of like Egyptian styled NFTs, and then you blend them together and you get this really cool something. And the one today is Heket. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm so sorry. But it's expensive. It's 63 wax, but there's only 50 of them, and it gives you a great amount of PP in the wax arena.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm missing the 4th one, so I'm gonna have to pay a hefty price. I'm not gonna miss this one because I will scream. But
well, you better set yourself a little timer there, and you can jump off for a second.
Well, I could stay on. I have the thing right here.
Yeah, just
so thank goodness for 2 screens.
Yeah, I actually flipped one of my Bastets just recently. So I got a pretty good price for that, and I haven't listed the other one because there's no way I'm going to personally collect them all. So, yeah.
Bastet, is that the 4th one, or?
No, Bastet was the female one. I'm pretty sure you said you grabbed 2 of those as well. So.
All right, yeah. I might even try to. My cat. I might even try to trade because I have extra. If somebody has the 4th one and wants to trade me for a missing 1st or 2nd or whatever.
Yeah, that'll save you a few wax. Yeah.
All right, so Penguin.
He's around. Knock, knock. Here we go.
Penguin. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
How are you?
How's it going?
How are you doing?
Good. I'm well. I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. You're so busy.
Thanks for letting me enjoy my breakfast while you 2 were chatting. No egg in my beard, I hope.
Let me see. No, you're good. Nice clean beard.
Good.
Very impressive beard.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I just tell us about Penguin. Who art thou? What are your interests outside this metaverse? Pour us a hot, steamy cup of Penguin.
I don't even know what outside this metaverse is anymore. I
like
can see from my window that there is an outside. I haven't been there in quite some time, which is fine. I'm an inside boy anyways, but yeah, you know, that's probably my least favorite question, because I seem like a very one-sided person, because I definitely do have some hobbies outside, but a lot of them still involve screens, right? You know, I'm a big TV junkie. I'm a big social media junkie. Politics. I tend to follow a lot of politics, whether it's within Canada, where I'm from, or outside of Canada. You know, everything we do are affected by our neighbors to the south, so I've got to follow the American politics as well. No, sorry is my line, but that's okay. Sorry, eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy doing that. I spend a lot of my time doing that. I'm still looking out the window as if I'm looking for something.
Scratching at it.
Yeah, I have 4 cats. So those take up a considerable amount of time. Yeah, you know what I learned, because I had 1, and then I had 3, and then I had 4. And I learned that 3 is exponentially more work than 2, but 4 is not that much more work than 3. Not that I'm suggesting anybody gets 4 cats.
I'm actually trying to get a 3rd.
Yeah, 3 is it's just, I don't know. You got to have 3 litter boxes, and you got to empty it twice a day, and there's never any food, no matter how much I fill it. So yeah. So
like all right. So my cat, I always get a shelter cat. I used to foster, and I stopped because I would miss them. And then the second cat we got was the second cat. I heard a weird noise. I don't know what that was. It was kind of cool though.
The cat.
It was like the second cat that we got kind of fell from the sky. Like, she literally, it was a 3-week-old kitten that was, I think, a runt that like was abandoned, and she ran up the freaking building to get away from us. We were taking a walk around our little complex here in Arizona, and she just fell right in front of us. So we grabbed her up, took her to the vet, and she became like our kitten, but her family is still like in our front yard, sort of thing. Oh. So we feed them. We have like 5 cups of food on our porch, and they come say hi. And there's this one kitten that wants to, I think is a brother or sister of hers, that really wants to come in, and I'm begging my husband, please. And he's like, no more cats. We could feed them outside, but no more. So I'm going to tell him what you said.
Smart man, your husband.
Don't mention my name. Don't mention my name.
Don't mention my name. So, like, you mentioned screens are everywhere. What does that mean? Even when you're outside?
Oh, no. I'm just saying most of my hobbies involve screens. There's not a lot of outside time. I make a point to go outside at least once a day, so I'm getting some fresh air, and I'm moving from my chair. You know, I'm lucky enough to work in the NFT space full time now. Oh,
that's
speaking
good.
of cats, I've got one ripping into something right below me. Yeah, and I recognize that I'm quite lucky to be able to do it full time. Not everybody gets that opportunity, but the one downside, really the only downside, is that if I'm not careful, I'm just in this chair 24/7. So I try to get outside. You know, luckily everything's within walking distance. Grocery store, McDonald's. What else do you need? Grocery store, McDonald's. That's it, right?
We are McDonald's.
Why?
It was in the Walmart. It was so convenient. You have a Walmart, and we don't have Walmarts in New York. So when we got to Arizona, we were like, what? And we're like right across the street from this huge mall. There's huge malls everywhere here. Yeah. Like, yeah, New York is convenient, but we don't have no malls. Like, you have to actually drive to get to a mall. So, and then they took our McDonald's away. But I mean, there's still other stuff, but sometimes you just want some French fries. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of malls, fun fact about my city is that for the longest time, for decades, we had the largest mall in the world here.
Did you get lost in it?
If you really wanted to, I suppose. Yeah, you could. I know someone who ran away from home when she was in her teens and actually lived in the mall for a couple weeks.
That's cool.
Because it provided everything she needed, and there's lots of spaces to hide. So,
actually,
yeah, and this city, because we are so cold most of the year, it's got a lot of malls. It's got a lot of malls because you've got to have somewhere to put people when it's too cold.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Same as in Japan, like some of the malls over there it blows your mind. Like, and because they don't have a lot of space, it's all up. So you go into like a 10-story mall, and they always have a central area where you can see right down. And at certain times of the year, like Peng's saying, especially when it's really hot, everyone goes to the mall because it's free air conditioning basically, or when it's really cold, everyone goes there because it's nice and warm. And
yeah,
it used to do my head in. Like, you go up the very top floor and look down, and you just see like 10 rows of just thousands of people. That's my nightmare.
Yeah.
If I get dragged to the mall, well, we just call it shops here in Australia, but if I get dragged there now, I want to be there in the car park before it's open. Get in, get it done, and get out. Like, we're usually walking back to the car as the hordes are coming in. Yeah.
See, there's nobody in my mall. Like, it's all empty. It's like a ghost town because.
Well, no wonder they shut down then.
Yeah, Arizona's so different from New York. I really like it. And like, you know what? When you said looking down with the 10 stories, it reminded me of American Psycho. Remember when the lady was trying to run away from him and he had a chainsaw and he's like aiming it for her and he just drops it and it's like lands perfectly on her. All right.
Yeah.
It just
That's a great movie.
Awesome. That would be cool
like
to
that
do
movie.
in that mall. But you said you like TV. What's your favorite show? And what kind of shows do you watch? Like comedy, drama?
Comedy primarily. I do like drama. I've gotten really into like hard sci-fi recently.
All right.
So something
Any
like
good shows to recommend?
Yeah, something like The Expanse, which was on a network, and then it was on Sci-Fi, I think, here, and then it got canceled. But it was Jeff Bezos's favorite show, so he had Amazon buy it, and now it's the best-looking show I've ever seen. Like, he threw millions of dollars at it, and it's ridiculous. So The Expanse is really good, but hard sci-fi. I'm watching Foundation right now on Apple TV, which is another, I think it's based off an Isaac Asimov book of the same name. Favorite show of all time, probably Lost.
I like Lost. I watched that. Yeah. They don't make good TV anymore. Like, I'm watching this show, La Brea or something, because like the trailer looked so cool, the commercial looked so cool, but like either people can't act or you're put in this situation where I would be like stressed out and these people are just smiling. Oh, we're in another world. We dropped through a sinkhole and we're in another world. Let's go explore. Like, let's check the cars. Like, let's go get extra food. And I'm like, you're supposed to be scared. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Or they're crying 1 second because their dad got freaking dragged away by a saber-toothed tiger, and then 5 minutes later they're like laughing and joking around with somebody else. Like, screw dad. Oh, dad who? You know?
Yeah, that's a little. It's like 24 when Jack Bauer got addicted to heroin and kicked the habit in like a span of 3 hours.
Really?
I'm looking forward to the Dexter reboot. I was pretty, like most people, I was pretty disappointed with how that finished, and I was very surprised and kind of interested to see that come back online. So that'll be cool to see how that plays out.
I've never seen Dexter. I have now 3 shows to watch.
I haven't either, and then I was going to, but everybody hated the finale, so I was like, oh,
yeah.
I think we should give it a try.
But even my wife and I, we binge watched all the series. She loved it, so, and she's not really into the blood and guts and gore sort of stuff. So
I only know, nothing has really been spoiled about it for me. I know the basic premise, and I know that John Lithgow is in it at some point. I like John Lithgow,
but epic storyline. Yeah,
I like him too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely worth a watch.
All right,
Cool.
so down to the nitty gritty. What projects are you in?
So Metaverse was kind of my not unlocked to the world. You know,
First love.
Yeah. Really, my first major entry point. You know, I found Upland through those incessant ads about rebuilding the world and whatnot, whether it was through Brave or iOS app, or I can't remember. So I came to Upland, and through Upland, I eventually found Viz Numerous and Wilson Fisk. And without those two people, I wouldn't be doing this interview right now. So shout out to them.
Those names come up very often with people that we talk to.
Yep. Very good, hardworking people. Yeah.
And so Viz and Wilson were working with Metaverse, and had gotten to know Recurrier, and Recurrier mentioned to them that he was looking for a community manager, and they said, well, how about Penguin? And so I spoke to Recurrier, and we made that happen. And then from there, just in some of the experience I got through Metaverse and some of the connections I made, I was able to hook up with the Master Brews team. And the Master Brews team is not really in the wax space, but they are cross-chain otherwise. And so through them, now I handle all of their community management and some promotion. So I'm with Whelps, which gained a little bit of notoriety in the wax world because Left House became a big fan of Whelps. So I'm in Whelps. I'm in Mark McKenna's Heroes and Villains. Mark McKenna is a famous DC, Marvel, and Star Wars comic book artist. He's done over 12,000 pages.
Wow. And
so that's his project that we are happy to be doing the development for. Edge Runners is another Master Brews project that is getting close to launch. Crypto Whale Club. I'm looking at my Discord list now.
I got you at 5 so far.
And then there are another 5 to 7 projects which are in some various level of development that I may or may not be involved with. You know, some of our clients prefer to handle their own social media, in which case I'll have very little to do with them. Other clients like us to handle their social media, in which case you probably see my smiling face on their Discord.
Which is a very pleasant smiling face.
Well, thank you. never any shortage of work, that's for sure. For me, at least.
Yeah, that you sound extremely busy, but I mean, if you love your job and it's like I'm in the space, Ben's in the space. I love like this whole thing, like preparing for it, getting to know people, networking. It's extremely fun, and if you can do it, like definitely do it. So it's like you know what you're doing a great job. I went into your site, the Heroes and Villains, and McKenna's Heroes and Villains, and everyone was really pretty awesome in there, like helping out. Like I saw you in there working hard. You were helping several people, so like other people kind of like came in and was like, hey, it's
a really good community. It's a really good community. I don't want to say I'm surprised by how good the community is, but you never know what you're going to get when you build a new community. And that's what and we've only been, I think that Discord was created in the middle of September. So we've really only been building it for about 6 weeks. And yeah, we just had some fantastic folks come in and start to take some of the workload off of me, which is awesome. And we're not too shy about handing out free mints to people that help us out. So we're not expecting anybody to work for free. I would never expect anyone to work for free, but people do it and they want to see the project succeed. So it's within their best interest to make sure the community is a welcoming place.
It's hard to find the role of a. Go ahead, sorry. No,
I was just going to say, The role of a community manager, like that gets bandied around a fair bit. Well, what does it actually entail, like day-to-day tasks? So you wake up in the morning, okay, it's time to go to work. Well, what are you actually doing?
Yeah. So for me, as it pertains to Master Brews, I don't think we've ever technically called ourselves a startup. We're not looking for Series A funding or anything. So we're not a startup in that regard. But I have a startup mentality. So I've got many hats on, and I kind of have my fingers in a lot of different things, some of which are visible, some of which are not. But to answer your question, yeah, wake up, walk the, 2 feet to my computer from my bed and say hello to everybody. And primary focus is attending to any questions or concerns that come up throughout the day. So whatever project that may be, whether it's Metaverse or Heroes and Villains or something else, what concerns were raised while I was asleep? How can I handle those concerns? And then, okay, what do I need to do to move this community forward today? So if you look at today as an example, and today is not that different from most days, but I got up, I created some trivia questions. We did a trivia in Heroes and Villains. So I coordinate that, hand out some prizes, and then I move on to see what promotion I have throughout the day. So I'm doing this cool podcast called Whine and Cheese today. And then I'll be on Left House in a little while today. And then after that, it will be back to the communities. I'll check in with Whelps. I'll check in with Edge Runners. We'll see what, again, not problems have arisen, but what can I do? So it's always very much what can I do, not just in terms of what specifically has been called out that needs attention at the moment, but what am I seeing? What am I picking up as sort of a trend? So if you look at Edge Runners, for example, edgerunners.io, they have a pretty active Discord, but we were getting a lot of people stuck in, sorry, I just got a phone call. You may hear a noise. I'm getting a lot of people stuck in kind of, okay, I'm here, but now I'm just in this general chat and I have no idea what to do and I have no idea how to engage. And that was feedback that wasn't necessarily coming to me. I just kind of noticed it. So again, on the back of the community, the great community that Edge Runners has, I created this ambassador program. So now we're getting people from the community to be the ones to welcome people and explain what their next steps are, because I can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
So that is probably my main task outside of, that's my main task is looking for efficiencies and optimizations and how can I make things better.
So is it almost kind of, you're almost a filter between the community and the development team? Would that be fair to say? Or
yeah, when I first approached Master Brews and said kind of, this is what I have in mind in terms of a job, this is what I'd like to do, I definitely mentioned the word liaison, so community liaison to Master Brews, but also client liaison. So I work behind the scenes with our clients quite frequently. We've never said to any of our clients, hey, Penguin has to be your first contact, just like we've never said to any of our communities, hey, Penguin has to be your first contact, because we are all open. I work with Various and Tilting Shock, and they are completely open. So if one of our clients wanted to DM them, if one of our community members wanted to DM them, there is certainly no problem with that, and we encourage that. But over time, it sort of just felt natural that people would DM me first, whether it was a client or a community member. So yes, I spend a lot of time liaising between our clients and our dev team as well.
So is that a lot of work? I'd imagine you'd have to have regular meetings with the dev teams and that sort of thing, or is that part of your day-to-day tasks as well?
Yeah, I couldn't even say, oh, I meet with the dev team 3 times a day, because we're always in contact, right? If I have a thought or a question, I fire it off to them. If they have a thought or a question, they fire it off to me. Nobody's ever, I don't have defined hours, which is another thing I'm lucky enough to be able to say. It's not Monday to Friday 9 to 5, certainly, and it couldn't be. But I basically am available 24/7, right? Like, I've got to sleep, I've got to eat. But if there's an emergency at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., I can be available and flexible enough to handle that.
I gotta say, like, I know I first experienced you in the Metaverse channel, and like, for me, I don't like people who get into my face and try to kind of like hype and like, oh, I like laid back, I like calm. Like, that's why I like Wax Arena. I like the errata guy there. I like Pulpish and God, I don't want to forget his name.
From Tales of Crypto?
Buna. Yeah. Oh, I love them. They're so laid back and calm. And for me, it makes me feel like I can actually approach you. I could talk to you. Like, when I went to that Heroes and Villains, like, I don't touch anything that's not wax. So when I went there and I saw that it was something else, the only reason why I gave it a chance was because of you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
There definitely needs to be an easier way to cross over between any blockchain, not just Wax to wherever, but wherever to wherever.
Wherever.
And I know that, that's something that Metaverse is working on. Metaverse, our product is the comic book. Yeah. Everything else is secondary to the comic book. But the wax market is not big enough at this moment to support a comic book, right? Nobody's, if it's Wax Arena, you're going to buy multiple NFTs, right? You're going to buy, if you're hardcore, you're going to buy those 50 commons of every common you can get your hands on because you're hardcore into Wax Arena. Well, probably not buying 50 copies of Metaverse issue 1. Maybe you're going to try to get one of each rarity, but you're not. I don't have 50 copies of Metaverse issue 1, right? Nobody really needs that. And so we need to expand. And so we need to bring in traditional comic book fans. But if you try to talk blockchain and purchasing wax with a traditional comic book fan, that's a dead end. That's not going to happen. So the goal is very much to be able to, at some point, and I'm not saying this is coming tomorrow or even this year, but at some point, the goal is, okay, go to metaversecomics.io, click on the issue you want to buy, put in your credit card, and behind the scenes, that credit card is converted to wax, and we get our money in wax. You get your credit card. You can read that credit card you can read that comic book on the Metaverse website, and you don't even know necessarily that you have an NFT in a wallet somewhere. All you know is you've now got a digital comic book that you can read at this website whenever you want to.
And the comic was well done, I have to say. I remember that whole thing. It was very cool to kind of see it coming through and whatnot. We definitely have to get you on the show a lot more, since you have so much knowledge of so many like pools of awesome. And I like that. Yeah, right. Like, you just like kind of like mine your brain a bit. Like, I want to know more about Metaverse. I want to know more about the other stuff that you're into, the villains and stuff. But I know you also have Left House coming out.
Yeah, not for about half an hour.
Not for about half an hour. Like, all right, like if I ask you, I know, like I'm assuming they're working on another comic book Metaverse, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you have any?
We could touch on the thing that kind of that we explored in DMs. Like you sent me a DM, and then I nearly fell out of bed to DM Penguin about it. If we wanted to touch on that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot all about it.
I was lucky to get issue 1 legendary copy of the Metaverse comic, which had all had all the voice acting and all the live animation and all that sort of stuff, which was really cool. So when this kind of nugget dropped, I was like, holy shit! It got out of bed as fast as I could.
I definitely want to shout out that legendary version for anybody who hasn't seen the legendary version. I mean, at this point, it's been out long enough that I would say, DM me and I can send you a link to the legendary version. You won't own it, but at least you can see it, because everybody should see it. And it is essentially, it's fully voice acted. So I always like to talk about 2 of the professional voice actors that we got for it. James Duvall, who I know as Frank the Bunny from Donnie Darko, and he's been in a few other things. And then Mark Boone Jr., who, if you Google him, the face is probably recognizable to most people, but Mark Boone Jr. is best known, at least to me, for his role in Sons of Anarchy. He was on there for the entire run. So, really cool.
Huge. Like you're not talking about Frank and Dave from down the street that you dragged in to, to drop a few lines. These are big names.
Exactly. Yeah, we still did have Frank and Dave in there, but some big names as well. So what you guys are referencing, I'm happy to talk about, is we want to put people's custom block explorers, because we definitely don't want to use the ones that Upland owns, but we want to put people's custom block explorers into an upcoming issue of the comic as sort of the villain's henchman. Won't have any lines, won't have any captions. It's just going to be background imagery. But we thought it would be a cool way to get the community involved, especially because the first few issues are focusing on Upland as a primary driver of the storyline.
All right, cool.
So we'll shout out the entire Metaverse team, but Mars, Utah specifically. Anybody in the sound of my voice who has a custom block explorer and would like to be included in an upcoming issue of Metaverse should contact Mars, Utah.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing how that all pans out. And like the technology that you were able to, the team was able to put together for that just seems so far ahead of anything else that was done in the space. We're seeing kind of almost simple GIF versions being the norm, and here we go with the full-on voice-acted, animated kind of NFT. It was kind of mind-blowing.
I mean, you look at Recurrier and Left Coast and TD, and that was the vision. That's the vision behind Metaverse. Those are the drivers. But again, those 2 names that keep coming up, there's Numerous and Wilson. Without them, I mean, they did. I don't want to say all the work on the reader, but a substantial portion of the work on the reader was the 2 of them. So
So you're talking about straight coding sort of work, or like editing and that sort of thing?
I have never asked, and I don't. But all of the I'm not a programmer. I'm not a dev. I'm not a designer. I can barely make something in Paint. So. They did, they waved their magic wand as far as I'm concerned and did what they needed to do, and suddenly the reader was working.
Cool. Outside of all the things you've got going on, like kind of professionally, is there any other project or something that you're interested in personally, whether it's in the NFT space or something else?
I've recently taken a position of selling out of a lot of the other projects that I was interested in, because I just don't have the time to nurture them and to put in the effort that I wanted to put in. Huge into farming tales, for example. Love farming tales. I just don't have the time to keep up. Wax Arena. I don't even want to calculate how much money I spent on Wax Arena. Just don't have the time to keep up. But Corporate World Hell, or Corporate World, is one of the collections in Wax Arena, and I love that project. Absolutely love that project. Originally started to buy it because I enjoyed the artwork. The fact that it was in Wax Arena was secondary. You know, having worked in not really corporate for my whole life, but I spent 20 odd years in retail, and a lot of the personalities that he makes fun of in his cards, you also get them in retail. So that really spoke to me. And then another project is Faded Monsuda, which is Sensei Bolrog's project. That's a really good one that you should have him on. You might need a 3-hour podcast, but you should have him on. I think he'd appreciate that joke. NFT Scratcher is a cool project done by Serial Killed.
We had him on last week.
Yeah. Oh, I totally saw that and knew all about it. Totally.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
And who else haven't I shouted out but want to? Frazzle. Anything Frazzle does.
Oh, I love Frazzle. I love Frazzle. Yeah, I was going to say that we had this little networking group inside the Left House Discord where we kind of are always on together. It's like Campsite, you, Frazzle, Viz, Wilson, Lil, Boulder's in there a lot, and we just kind of like, you know, throw around some ideas and whatnot, and it's somebody's always busy doing something, and it's just a nice place to kind of just like chill out and kind of see what the other people are up to, and you know, learn new things, and just sometimes you see Wilson, he's painting, and for me it's like I'm always asking the poor guy, are you gonna paint tonight? Because it's relaxing. Like you're just doing your own artwork, and then you look over and you're watching somebody else do theirs. It's so freaking relaxing.
Yeah. Speaking of Campsite, I'm glad you brought him up, because his new project, Giggle Gaming, is something I'm really high on at the moment as well. It's got a really cool concept. So no shortage of people. Do you?
Yeah, I'll tell you after the show.
There you go. Now, are you concerned at all? Like, I know that there's that saying, you know, do something you love and you never work a day in your life, blah, blah, blah. When I was growing up, I've always been, you know, I grew up on the Gold Coast in Australia, so I'm always around water, mad keen on, you know, fishing, diving, and that kind of flowed over into aquariums and keeping aquariums at home. Like at one stage, I think I had like 20 fish tanks. And then I ended up going to university and studying aquaculture, did an undergrad, a postgrad, and then got into the industry because that's what I was passionate about. But then it kind of burnt me out of it. Is there a concern that, like, I know for myself, like I whine to cheese all the time about my IRL job, but that's kind of because the NFT space and the Metaverse space is my release from that.
Right.
I'm personally a bit wary of diving too deep professionally, because, you know, for me personally, I've once bitten, twice shy kind of thing. Is that at play at all?
Yes and no. You know, certainly I wish that I could have stayed involved with the projects that I'm not personally involved with, but loved, like some of the projects that I mentioned earlier. So, you know, to a certain extent, I do think at some point the pace I keep and the number of projects that I am involved with is going to have to change.
Yeah,
that is why, you know, that's a primary reason why I did sell out of some of the projects that I love, because it was starting to cause anxiety, starting to be like, right. Oh, well, you know, if I can't pay 100% attention to our planet, then, you know, I'm not going to be able to craft robots. I'm not going to be able to do whatever the next step is. I just don't have time. So rather than feeling anxious about that, I just made the decision to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point, I will probably slow down, but I don't ever foresee it becoming as like a, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. Luckily, I'm not there. Who knows? Talk to me again in 5 years, but who knows, right?
I think it also has to do with the kind of like personality you have. It doesn't show it because like Ben is so quiet, but he's probably a lot more outgoing and active than I am. I'm very much an introvert. I don't leave the house ever. And I used to do day trading as a side gig, and I do it full time. Am I sick of it? No. I love it. I could take it anywhere I go. You could take it anywhere you go, as long as you have a laptop, right? So like me in this space, like doing art every day, I'm usually up till 1, 2 in the morning if I have to get an NFT out. The show, then we have Udo, then like I'm in so many things. I don't know if I'll ever get tired of it. I don't have to leave the house, and that's the important thing.
And actually, you just hit on a bucket list goal of mine, which is probably at some point next year, because Christmas is coming up, but probably at some point next year is to buy a new laptop and then go to Mexico or somewhere like that for a week, specifically to work on the beach, right?
Nice.
Like, yes, okay, I want a vacation, sure.
I love
but
it.
I also want to experience working somewhere that isn't my little apartment in Edmonton, you know?
Yeah, I'm an outdoor boy at heart, so I guess there's part of the struggle is that as well. Yeah. And it's funny to see. I've got two sons, and one of them is the full-on outdoor personality side of me, and the other one's the full-on indoor. So it's kind of funny to see how that plays out.
Which is the indoor one, the older one or the younger one?
The older one's the indoor one. Yeah.
He looks sick. I remember him passing by with his little guinea pig, and I thought it was a rabbit, and I'm like, oh, is that a rabbit? And he looked like he wanted to jump on like our discussion and work with us. So it was so cute. He's like, oh, no, it's a guinea pig. They're so cute, all his kids. I have one last question before we let you go, and which is your favorite project? Wow. I'm going there. I know. Wow. I'm going there. Look at his face. He's like, you bastard.
He's got paychecks to cash. You can't be dropping that on him.
I know. Or is it, I love them all and I'll tell you offline sort of thing?
The ones that start with M. How about that?
That
covers the fuel.
That actually is the answer. You know, probably, you know, I'm always going to have a soft spot for Metaverse, right? I'm still the Metaverse community manager. I'm still, I'm still heavily involved in, I don't want to say every aspect of it because that's not true. It's simply not true. But anything that kind of, you know, is community focused. So Metaverse is always going to be at the top of that list. But if I had to, well, I guess I don't have to, but the other one would be McKenna's Heroes and Villains, right? Like not putting down, and of course not putting down any of the other Master Brews projects. I love them all. But I mean, I get to email a famous Marvel artist one-on-one.
That's cool.
If I need something. How cool is that, right?
Yeah. Nice. Well, a couple of things I'd like to finish up on. We know that, you know, you're heavily involved professionally. Do you set yourself some personal time as well to, you know, engage in the projects that you're interested in, but not on a professional level?
Not as much as I should.
Yeah.
And that's really why I did, you know, have to step away from some of the ones I've mentioned. I really try to set personal time aside that is non-computer time. So whether that's
Cheese is gonna have a heart attack there.
That sounds scary.
Whether that's hanging out with my girlfriend, who, you know, we live together and I probably see her less than I see other people, you know, I have my son a couple times a week, and so I really try hard to not be so focused on work while he's here. But the reality is he's 12. He would much rather lay in his bed looking at TikTok than talk to me. So
yeah, stuff.
But I do need to, you know, I've really only been in this role for 6 weeks. So I've been the Metaverse community manager for longer than that, since somewhere around midsummer. But this full-time, never-ending onslaught of NFTs, it's really only been about 6 weeks. And so I wanted to throw myself fully into it. But certainly in the new year, I'm going to have to step back a little bit and not necessarily spend more time on NFT projects that I like, but maybe see what else in the world there is.
What else is there? Does your son like NFTs? Does he know what they are?
My son has an eye for business and is very financially motivated.
Nice.
So he likes NFTs insofar as he knows that if you're good at it, we're lucky, you can get money. But he really couldn't care less about the ins and outs of any of the projects that I do.
Nice. That's cool. And one last thing, what's your favorite drink?
Coke Zero.
Ew, Pepsi girl, Pepsi fan girl, Diet Pepsi, Pepsi man.
I prefer. I have a hierarchy in my head. I prefer Diet Pepsi over Diet Coke.
All right.
But I prefer Coke Zero to them all, and I cannot drink regular Pepsi or regular Coke anymore because I've been doing the diet for so long that the regular stuff makes my teeth hurt now. It's just way too sweet.
It's too strong too. Like it gives me heartburn. Like I grew up on Diet Pepsi, so it's not like I'm doing it for a diet or anything, but it's just something I'm used to. And I know, like, if I drink regular soda, even if it's like Sunkist or anything, it's like I feel like it's burning my soul.
It's just too. It makes even thinking about it, I can like feel the grit in my teeth right now. And if we're talking adult drinks, then I have to shout out any Canadian rye. I love myself a rye whiskey. So yeah.
Nice. And if people wanted to get in touch and have a chat about what you've got going on, or the projects that we've mentioned, how can they do that?
Yeah, so my phone number is the best way to get in touch with me is definitely over Discord. ThePenguinVA. My DMs are open, so if you get a message back saying you can't contact me, you need to open your DMs.
And can we follow you on Twitter? Do you have your own Twitter, or are you just mostly into other people?
You can follow me on Twitter, same handle, ThePenguinVA. I don't post a ton, and I've got a relatively small amount of followers. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. Why not? VA. I will not mess up your timeline very often, so that's a bonus.
Nice. We'll drop all those in the description for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Alrighty, you want to wrap us up, Cheese?
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you for coming on the show. I have to figure out still what I'm going to do for your NFT. I mean, I have
I've got an idea.
Oh, you do? All right, cool. Oh, we'll talk about it offline.
All right, well, I'm pumped for that. So far, I've only had one vanity thing made for me. It's this. And that's from Lil.
Oh,
very cool.
You can see I've got a legendary pack in my flipper. So,
the penguin is very happy.
I'm excited to see I really appreciate you guys inviting me. I spend a lot of time on things talking about a specific project. So it was nice just to kind of chat about a wide variety of topics. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Cheese had a list. She had, we've actually had people reach out wanting to be on the show, which is nice, but Cheese had a kind of a hit list, and, I saw your name and put it straight to the top. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. I love when you guys come into my various Discords and cause trouble. It's really good. So.
Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine.
G'day, sickos. Happy Halloween. Drop your favorite drink in the comments for the YouTube description for another very cool Morecheeese NFT. Also, she has worked on an exclusive Whine and Cheese NFT, so check her out on Twitter for information on how you can get another one. Later.
Fire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the drive. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. You can let fire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky. You can let fire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the drive. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. You can let fire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky.